Okay. So, I used that potion, right? Yeah, and I saved it like an idiot. So, I'm gonna have to, this episode will be me getting some rupees. Be able to afford the potions. Hopefully I can get to that dungeon full health. I should be able to take care of it. Alright, so I think there's two things I wanted to talk about. So last time we had this big thing about me in movies and people shitting on them and how I just don't like to hear it. I just want to say one thing, just remind me of one thing. It won't be long. But so you know how I have a channel called NeveranyFun. So this was first called NeveranyFun. Then I switched it to NeveranyFun Gaming because I want because I had so many gameplay videos. I made another channel for videos where I would like just give my opinion on stuff and like vlog or something and go on rants and stuff. One of the things I really want to talk about, one of the first things, and I was actually very close to doing it the other day. I was thinking about it because these things just bother me and I don't think I can like get them out. I can't, like, I feel like I can't stop thinking about it until I just get them off my chest. But so people like Gerard the Completionist, JonTron, and Pro Jared, where when they review games, they'll say, remember, this is all in my opinion and all that. But the thing is, though, even though they say that at the start of the video, and they'll say, like, something later, like, this game is hard, or this game sucks, or this is bad, things like that, they're no longer saying it's in their opinion, because, I find anyway, because the words they use, if you take that one sentence separately, or out of context, that is not, they're not saying it in their opinion, they're saying it as fact. And it's really not that hard. It's really not hard to keep saying, this is in my opinion, or I find. There are many variations of ways of saying it. And I find it so lazy of them to not say it. And I think it's an American thing where, well, not American, everyone talks like that, even Canadians. But I'm not like that. I'll say, like, I find, or I believe. Things like that, right? And for like when I'm talking about things that can only be my opinion, it's not hard to add those things, and I don't understand why they don't. Why it is that they don't think of adding those words, and I think it has to do with it's a stereotype of Americans are so full of themselves, where they think they're the greatest, that they don't think of they have to say they have to add that. This is just their thoughts. They're like, no, it's, I don't have to say that word. I don't know what it is, but that's just how I feel about it. But I'm not going to go on more about it. But I want to do a whole video about that. I think just saying it on here, hopefully it's good enough. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was that leads, I think, to the second dungeon, if I'm not wrong. So I think I'll say it now. So I read, you know, I'm a huge One Piece fan. There's a lot of One Piece stuff I have on my channel. One thing I wanted to talk about was, okay, I read it on MangaFox, okay? That's the site I read One Piece on when it comes out. I do buy the books, in case you're wondering. They take a while, but there's like always so many months in between, like, when they're released, though. But I do buy the books. I'm missing a few of the newer ones. I'm not even gonna bother saying it. But you know, the Doflamingo parts. But anyway. In MangaFox, there are, if you choose a manga, there are also threads, or like you know, of like chats, or like people have a subject and like people go on and talk about that. And I swear to God, these people are just really stupid, or they just don't think that much about stuff. you know, not everyone, but some things I've seen that are just really dumb. Where there's this one person who said, "Who are the 5 strongest women in One Piece?" And like, so I think one of them was Hancock, and one of them is Suhu, I think, or I don't remember. The one where she can wash people like clothes, because they say like, you know, she's one of the Elder Marines, so like she's probably seen a lot of action and all that. And then one of them was Ivanka, woman form, and I don't remember the others. But the guy, but someone replied like, you barely have any women on here. One of them he chose was actually a man just being a woman with this devil fruit ability. And like one, I guess, yeah, the person didn't really have, like, I wouldn't be mean like that at all, but yeah, the person didn't have much to go on. But one thing that one thread I saw was if Law could beat Buggy, what do you think of that, Bings? What comes to mind if you think of Law fighting Buggy?
He's gonna win.
Law? Yeah. But you do know that Buggy can be cut, right, and not hurt. See, the first, I didn't think of Law. I thought of Mihawk versus Buggy, because you know how we learned about hockey? Yeah. The debate was, one was, would Hockey hurt Buggy if like he put Hockey on his sword and cut him, because it does cancel. We were wondering, like, is it only for Logia, or does it cancel all Devil Fruit abilities, even like Paramecia? So we don't really know about that. I think it does, because if you punch Luffy, it does hurt him. So I'm pretty sure if you were to cut Buggy with Hockey, it would hurt him. I think, but until that's demonstrated, I guess some of us still unsure.
Wait, Marco?
Yeah.
What are the different types of Hockey?
There's Observation, Armament.
Wait, no, I meant Devil Fruits.
Paramecia are like abilities like Luffy, Buggy, Maria, where it's an ability. Then the other two are like more specific. Zoan are the animals like Chopper and the CP9 people. Lucci, Kaku, and Jabra have. Even Dalton have the Ox fruit. And then there's Logia, where they're the elements. People like, you know, the 3 admirals, Eneru, Crocodile. But Blackbeard's is actually a Logia, even though he doesn't turn to darkness. Alright, only 3 more rupees, guys. Alright. So, people, like, I'm not, so in that thread there were smart, the one thing I thought of that no one else thought, okay, so, Law has this was before we saw one of Law's strong attacks, Gamma Knife, which I'm pretty sure would kill Buggy. He used it on Doflamingo, and what it does is that it, like, cuts you from the inside out. It kind of, it, like, dissects you or something from the inside. Doflamingo was able to use strings inside his body to, like, repair himself. But it pretty much slowly kills the person. But this was before that happened. But Law had this ability, has, like, this, you know those, defibrillators? Where, you know, they shock the people to bring them back? Where's the nearest old woman? Anyway, Law has something like that where he can, like, make electricity to zap someone, okay? And they were saying, like, maybe Buggy has resistance to that because he did get hit by a bolt of lightning and survive. You know, and, like, he got up pretty quickly. But the thing I want, I don't post on these. Like, I just don't go out talking to people on posts because I just don't see the point for me doing it. I'm not going to get what I want out of it. But anyway, what I thought was he would use Shambles, and you know how you can, like, switch to two objects, like, places? He could just have, like, a rock, and even though Buggy can be dissected, he can just make the here's all. This is an old woman here. Alright. He could just use Shambles, make Buggy's head appear right in front of him, use Hockey on his fists and punch him. No one thought about Law using his fist to punch, because he can do that. That's an option he can do. He can use Hockey to go around his hands and punch Buggy. I mean, it would take a while, but he can do that.
Why did you go there?
I wanted to. Anyway, no, but one thing that I saw that really, I was wondering why no one ever thought of that in the thread. But one thing that really annoyed me were, okay, Fishman Island, I think is a great, I thought it was really great. It was great, it was a great story. I liked the Luffy's fights. A lot of people in those threads didn't like it. Do you know why?
Why?
There was 2 backstories, and the fights weren't serious enough. And then my thoughts were, guys, Fishman Island is the last island of the first half of the Grand Line. They're not even in the New World yet, and you really think they're gonna have like fights where they're like in Ennis Lobby where they're struggling? They just trained for 2 years, not even in the New World, and you actually think they're gonna struggle against these guys? Like, are you that stupid? You're complaining because of that?
Also, remember how in Water 7 there were 2 flashbacks?
Yeah, exactly, and they were great stories. And that's the thing, like, both those flashbacks were, one of them was about the the Fishman Pirates, and one of the history of an incident that happened on Fishman Island. So they're both stories that are very important to the history of the world of One Piece. And they were great stories that I really like them. One, the fight with Luffy and Hody, like, you know how there's an AMV of by Amaro? You don't know the person, but there's this AMV I have, right? That I have saved. It's a great fight. The action in it is great. When I saw it in the manga, I loved it. And they're like, no, that fight was dumb. And it's like, I find it really wasn't. But then I remember there's this. I remember this comment that said Fishman Island on Manga Fox that said Fishman Island was awful, but at least he's making up for it with Punk Hazard, which happens right after. Punk Hazard is my least favorite one, and I don't know why they like Punk Hazard more than Fishman Island, because Fishman Island was a great story. Well, it's hard to go into detail with all these things here, but Punk Hazard, a lot of it was just running. Actually, it was literally just running. I like the start when it was the volcano part, but I hate snow. So when they were on the ice part of the island, it really just went downhill, and it was really slow for me. But the thing is, I saw this guy on Foreigner World on YouTube. He's this guy that talks about a lot of manga, anime kind of stuff. Because of him, I actually know about who Goku's mother is. I think I'm gonna have to fight these guys each time. Okay, anyway, okay, like, but it's the reasons they gave that why Fishman Island sucked. They said the fights weren't good when really they were well placed. That's actually the last part in One Piece where it was good exchanges, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of good exchanges in Luffy's fight, but they're all like, oh, the fights weren't serious. Like, why would you think after the enemies that they shown would you think that these fights are gonna be serious? It's hard for you to understand when you haven't seen the arc yet, Magnus. But, I I guess I'm going a bit too long on the Fishman Island thing. Okay, Dressrosa, I can't pronounce it. But, Dressrosa, people people were annoyed that it was going on for too long. And I guess, like, I can understand that, like, you know, people want to see new things. But you know what was also really long?
What?
Water 7. Way longer. That was, like, what, 3 years?
What do you mean 3 years?
It took 3 years to publish all of Water 7. It's 11 or 12 volumes. But, like, people, you know what's even worse? After that, so there's this guy called One World who does One Piece theories, okay? And after Dressrosa, there's this one arc that's really short. It wasn't not even a year long, okay? Not even a year long. And he was like, yeah, this was taken too long. It was like 6 months, that arc. I did this wrong. Okay, northwest, southwest. And it's like, really? You're gonna complain that it was too long when it was like one of the shortest arcs?
Do you know what I do?
What?
I count each. You know how it's in One Piece they always change the theme song?
Yeah.
I always count each theme song as a different season.
That's actually exactly what they are, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So we're at the 19th theme song right now.
What about the one we're at?
We're at season 15 now. Actually, it's kind of weird because season 7 was actually filler episodes, and there was only like 5 of. Remember when they were going to say all the flashbacks of like the stories before, during like when they were saving Robin?
Yeah.
They were like jumping off the tower, and then it went to all of them. See, they did that because they switched to a new time slot, so they want to like showcase the like for new people to watch and who can now watch the show, what you know, what their backstories were.
Wait, would?
So that was actually the 7th opening. So that, I guess, because we count the theme songs, that counted as a season, but it was only like 5 or 6 episodes.
Echo?
Yeah.
It's the Davy backfights canon.
Yes, but they extended it a little bit. See, that's the thing. My friend Chris, who did some stuff with me, said that people didn't like it. Do you know why? It had nothing to do with the main story, and that's another thing that gets me. One Piece is all about adventure, so they had extra stuff, and you're gonna complain about that? It wasn't even that long. It was 2 volumes. But yeah, it does happen in the books. Except, you know how they did the, you know how they did,
It's the...
Yeah, okay. Okay, so the 2 things that weren't in it, they had a dodgeball match and a roller skating thing. Those weren't in the books.
I like the dodgeball. He ate the ball.
Yeah, that was fun. Once this guy's dead, I don't have to fight him again, even if I die, right?
Yeah. You don't have to fight him again.
That'll help at least. This way, if I can beat him, I can get through here. Progress, finally.
what? I think this may be a room for a new item. I mean, there's no place to go.
Yeah. And it's easy, thank God. Yeah, sorry I cut you off. Sorry, I'm just panicking a bit. Yep. Oh, it's not just, I thought it was Miko. Anyway. But yeah, like, he heard that, like, some people online were like, yeah, this, they didn't like the Davy Back stuff because it had nothing to do with the main story. And that's like, what? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with seeing other things? You know what I find interesting? That now we know that things like that go on in the Grand Line. Bombs?
Yeah, it's...
Like, I'm out. Okay. Maybe it's just nothing. I don't know. We'll come back to it. So I'm pretty sure this one has a door on it. No door. Anyway, okay, this is gonna be hard. I'll get to it quickly. But people were saying how Dressrosa was too much like... One, it went on too long, and said it was too much like Alabasta and Skypiea. And one I can understand about Alabasta because it's, you know, it's some guys overthrown a kingdom, right? And the people are mad at the king, at the last king, and you know it's Luffy like saving the people's lives, right?
Yeah.
But that's just a similar thing. The stories are still very, very different. You know what Alabasta was?
What?
Alabasta was this underground organization that was that ended up causing a revolution, a rebellion to overthrow the kingdom. Dressrosa was these guys made it seem like the king and his knights attacked the citizens, because you know how Doflamingo can control people with the strings?
Yeah.
So he controlled them, attacked the people, and then they came in and like, oh, we're saving everyone by taking them out. Okay? Then you know what he did?
What?
He has this one person in his crew who, when she touches someone, turns into toys, and then she can command that toy to do her bidding. And when that person's turned to toys, everyone in the world loses their memory of that person. So they have hundreds of people turn to toys from that kingdom and outside the kingdom, developing drugs and weapons to sell in the new world. Those are completely different stories. Yes, there are similarities, but that's the thing that these people are so stupid they don't understand, is that when you have a story as long as One Piece, okay, they're doing, they're sailing island to island, right?
Yeah.
There are going to be some similarities in the story. They said, I have no idea how they see that this arc was at all like Sky Island. Sky Island was, they had to go to an island they had no idea if they could actually reach. Then they find out that there's this whole fight about this land that's been going on for over 400 years, and they fight this god that wants to destroy everything. How is that anything like what happened in that arc? I know you haven't seen it, but it's nothing at all like that. The only difference is that people are fighting for their land back. That's a similarity. Doesn't mean the story is the exact same. But they're like, yeah, he's recycling story arcs. And now, you know how they're going to rescue Sanji from being married?
Yeah.
They're like, in Water 7, they had to go rescue Robin. They're the same story. Are you freaking serious? That's a similarity. They're not the same story at all. Water 7 was government organization is bringing Robin to be executed. Okay? That's the story, right? And they captured Frankie so that way they have the plans to build an ancient weapon. What's going on right now? Sanji is willingly going, just like Robin, to go so that way the people he cares about don't get hurt. But they're on 4 Emperors Islands, and they're not going through the same process the same as Enies Lobby. Different things are going on. Yes, there's a similarity. I mean, were they trying to get the records of a poneglyph? No, there were no poneglyphs in Enies Lobby. But I guess I'm going on a bit long, but what I'm saying is these people saw, okay, there's this thing that's there's this one thing that's similar, therefore it's the same story, and they're like, oh, this is getting bad. Do you understand why, like, this, I just hate people a lot. Some people are just so freaking stupid, and they can't think for themselves, can't think right. Alright guys, we'll see you guys next time.